I am California of the past.
I am California of the past.
I am
California of the past.
Good afternoon. My name is Gary Kurtz, and I'm Curator of Special Collections for the California State Library. And I've been here for over 30 years and thoroughly enjoyed the magnificent collections formed by our pioneer predecessors, these great librarians working for 16 decades in building our collections. And this is a particularly important year for us in that it's our 160th anniversary as an institution, which makes us one of the oldest governmental libraries in the far West, and certainly one of the great learning centers in the far western United States. And I think it's very intriguing how our library was initially started. If you think of what California was like in 1849, and particularly in the month of December, it was quite an astonishing, rambunctious, anything-goes territory. When you think right here in Sacramento, we are on N Street, and just 3 blocks away is J Street, and in 1849, that was the boulevard of the gold rush. Anyone who was going up into the mines that came from around the world, from Germany, from Australia, from the Hawaiian Islands, came up through San Francisco, up the Sacramento River, and then down J Street and into the foothills to making their pile of gold. And when they returned, they came back down through J Street. And then one month in 1849, 3.5 tons of gold were brought right down J Street. Quite an astonishing figure when you adjust it for inflation. That would be in the millions of dollars today. Sometimes, too, these 49ers would stop in what is now Old Town Sacramento, maybe with a bag of gold to buy a drink for one of the ubiquitous Daughters of Joy, or to gamble away their hard-earned earnings during the summer with games like Faro, Monte, and Chuck-a-Luck. But at the same time, down in the first state capital in San Jose, when the first legislature was meeting, they were forming a new Commonwealth of California. It was an astonishing event in that California had not been formally admitted into the Union. However, California was always a maverick state. And if the federal government in Washington, D.C. would not admit California, by gum and by George, Californians thought, we will go off on our own and form our own government. So the first capital was actually in an old adobe, which one historian called that looked nothing like better than a crate. Another contemporary said that the fleas were so prevalent in that first state capitol building that when anyone scratched their head, no one for a moment thought it was for an idea. So they first met on December 15th, 1849, forming the laws of this new Commonwealth of California. But they needed information. How were they going to model themselves? They needed laws based on precedent, not only in the United States, but other parts of the world. And one man who helped out greatly was a former Tammany Hall politician, a general or colonel in the United States Army who led the New York Volunteers to California at the close of the Mexican War by the name of Jonathan Drake Stevenson. And you can imagine the excitement in the legislative hall when this heroic figure walked down the aisles there carrying some books. And he said that he wanted to give these books from his own home state of New York to establish a state library. And we actually have his very letter that he presented to this first state legislature, dated December 22nd, 1849. And if I could just read you a passage, he says, "Feeling an anxious desire for the promotion of education and the establishment of a state library at the capital estate of my adoption, I respectfully pray leave for the promotion of these books to contribute my mite towards accomplishment of so desirable an object." Stevenson gave these books for the sole purpose of establishing a state library. This new adopted state of his, of California, he felt needed the encouragement, the nourishment of books. So he donated these volumes, not only the natural history of his own home state of New York, but educational books about New York. So this provided our foundation, quite an extraordinary moment in the intellectual and educational history of California. California discovered the gold of the mind with the establishment of the California State Library. And it is California's library. We are here to serve anyone who has an interest in the compelling and colorful story of our Golden State.